That's as good a place to start as any. The mad world of the tweaker. The land of the perpetual night party.
Welcome to Cynic Critique, where we get real with cult films. I'm your host Thomas, and I'm here with my brother and co-host, my bro-host, Brian. Hello! And this is the third week we continue to shine the spotlight on Val Kilmer, as we discuss 2002's The Salton Sea and 2003's Wonderland. You kicking off?
Yeah, okay.
Aggressively?
Yeah. This time we're seeing a different side of Kilmer, I guess. We're getting a more raw, damaged side of Kilmer, struggling with addiction and chaos.
I know what you're thinking. Sometimes you see the world so clearly, and you know just what to do. Or what you should have done in the Salton Sea.
And that is The Salton Sea from 2002, made on a budget of $18 million. Sadly, only grossing $1,073,198. Directed by DJ Caruso, who people may know the name from I Am Number 4, Eagle Eye, Disturbia, Taking Lives, Two for the Money, or the terribly poor XXX Return of Xander Cage. Fortunately, this isn't that bad. Nowhere near. And it's from the writer Tony Gayton, who wrote Murder by Numbers. Well, he also wrote The Faster, starring The Rock, or Dwayne The Rock Johnson, or Dwayne Johnson, whichever you prefer. But he also created the hit TV show Hell on Wheels, which is worth checking out if no one's ever seen it. And the synopsis, as IMDb has it, after a tragic incident, a man drifts into a world populated by thugs and speed junkies. It stars Val Kilmer as Danny Parker. It stars Vincent D'Onofrio as Pooh Bear. Not that Pooh Bear. It stars Adam Goldberg as Cujo. Not that Cujo. It stars Louis Guzman as Quincy. Not that Quincy. And Doug Hutchinson as Gus Morgan, who people remember, he was Looney Bin Jim in Punisher Warzone. And he was Gollum in Batman and Robin. And we've got Anthony LaPaglia, if I'm saying that right, as Al Gassetti. And we've got, lastly, Peter Sarsgaard as Jimmy the Finn. That I will know him from the Batman as D.A. Gil Colson. Do you want to start us off on this?
My thoughts? I think this has a really great opening. It's a brilliant opening scene.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
It kind of reminds me of the opening to Usual Suspects, though, which is another good film, but this is a good film in its own right, and I wouldn't really compare them films anyway. I'm just saying it reminded me of that. And Val Kilmer does one hell of a performance in this one as well.
No, definitely. This is a great performance from him.
Yeah, I don't think in any of the films we've watched I've gone, this isn't like a good Kilmer performance.
No, I don't think I've ever seen that from Val Kilmer, to be honest.
No. Yes, it was a great film overall. I really like Peter Sarsgaard in it. He plays such a great friend. Vincent D'Onofrio is amazing in this as well. His character's quite unique.
Oh, for sure. and he created quite a bit about this character, I believe.
Did he?
Like how he talks and stuff.
Oh, yeah. He came up with...
But I think the nose, because he's got no nose,
yeah.
But he's found a way of that character talking, if I'm right.
Yeah, I've made note of that somewhere. He's got a load of stuff. I think I've just got a whole note of what he's done for his character. Yeah, that was it. He has an uneven suntan. He gained weight. He bleached his hair. Wore improperly fitting skater wear. He mouth breathed to create a unique timbre and speech patterns, and added a little nose squeak because he found that people that had lost their nose to trauma and produced like a high pitched sound after they pronounce certain words.
Yeah, as you said, the opening I found to be amazing. Well, it just opens with this burning apartment, a jazz horn. I think it's a jazz horn, a trumpet or a saxophone or something anyway. And we have no idea what's going on as Val Kilmer sits in the middle of it all, seeming quite calm as he just plays it, right?
Yeah.
And this whole building around him is just going up in flames. And it's like, wow, what is this? And it's such a great opening. It's very enigmatic. There's also a narration in this that adds a nice touch, given that classic noir feel that this film has. It's somehow a little poetic, I think, his touch to it. What really caught me off guard, though, with this was how funny it is. You know, it's not slapstick or overplayed, but the humour sneaks in through how the characters are done. You know, like there's the scene where they're buying weapons from that kid who looks about 16 years old.
Yeah.
I don't know how old he is. And then there's the Peter Sarsgaard's car that has more holes than it does metal. Like, it's just an absolute box of a car. And as you mentioned, there's Vincent D'Onofrio, who's just absolutely going for it with that nose squeak thing and his pigeon wrangling and the remote control car scene with the JFK assassination reenactment.
Yeah, that's such a weird bit.
It's so good. It's insane, but never cartoonish. It sounds cartoonish to talk about it, but within the film, it somehow fits.
Yeah.
And I find that fascinating. The cast are all fantastic, and they all bring this really grounded approach to a somehow surreal world. Like, that balance is really well stricken, I think, between that absurd and real.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is about this film, but it really gives me the vibe of Fight Club. I guess it's that neo-noir with a stylish tone.
Probably.
But just something about how the characters work with that sort of... Because if you think Fight Club, those characters are actually quite comedic, yet the film itself manages to feel grounded. I think this is similar to that.
Yeah.
Like that scene where Sarsgaard's character, I forgot his name now, he gets that tattoo of Kilmer's face. It's really, really well done.
Don't you have that same tattoo?
I'm getting it, yeah. But no, I just found this to be smart, stylish, but unexpectedly funny.
Yeah.
Which I think is a brilliant blending. Done really well, masterfully even. But that's my thoughts on the film anyway. I still can't believe how funny I actually found this film.
It's not even comedy as its prime
No, it's not, no.
genre.
It's fantastic how it balances the comedy within it, I think.
Yeah.
And those funny moments, I've maybe made it sound like it's constant. It's not constant. You know, it's just little sprinklings of it here and there.
Yeah.
So what do you want to start with on this then, if we're going to do trivia? Unless you've got more thoughts on it you want to share.
That's another thing about this film when you go on about it's like comedy. This was written by Gayton as just something wild and experimental to just show producers. He weren't expecting it to... He didn't expect it to actually get made. But one of the producers really liked it. Pretty much sold it in 3 days, apparently.
No, I was going to say, when you mentioned that, I was like, yeah, it's sold quick.
I can see why, because I think it's a really good film.
Definitely.
It's somewhat experimental. I think it's pretty good. Like, better than what he gave it credit for, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think it's because all the characters are a bit, like, aloof. It kind of is more of an experimental thing to just see how well characters mesh together, I guess, more than anything else.
Well, I mentioned about its box office not particularly doing well, but apparently it managed to gain cult status just through the sheer calibre of Val Kilmer's performance.
Yeah, I can see why as well, but 1 million is pretty poor to gross.
Yeah. There's also... We haven't really said what this film is, because that synopsis on IMDb is pretty terrible.
Yeah.
But we basically have Val Kilmer's character, Danny Parker, who, after a past incident, has become an informant for the LAPD, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I guess this then adds a layer of the plot that I really don't want to spoil because it goes in a direction that I weren't expecting, and the whole plot kind of revolves around that not knowing of where it's going to lead to, I think. So I don't want to say any more than that.
Yeah.
But that's a better setup, I think, than what the synopsis had on IMDb.
Yeah.
Then maybe I've spoiled it for some.
I don't know. It depends what you prefer, because some people like to know what they're actually watching.
I don't feel I've spoiled it. I think I've just added a little more context into what to expect from it.
Yeah. I'd just say crime drama.
Yeah. It is very heavy on drug use.
Yeah.
Or drugs in general, but that's what the whole film is revolving around.
Warner Brother had a bit of a uncomfortable feeling about that and how to market it as a film, which I found funny.
Yeah. They were also not very comfortable with the JFK
assassination reenactment with pigeons.
Yeah.
Which, that alone just sounds crazy. That sounds like one of them fever dreams I made, man. more than an actual thing in a film. It's the fact they're in remote control cars that makes it funnier.
Yeah, apparently, I didn't know this, Val Kilmer apparently auditioned for Kubrick's Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah.
So, in this, we've got Vincent D'Onofrio, who's in Full Metal Jacket, but we also have Ali Ermey, isn't it, his name?
Sure.
From Full Metal Jacket. He's the drill sergeant, or whatever that role is, I can't remember.
Yeah.
But so, obviously, that's two cast members from Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah.
And apparently, the three of them discussed called auditioning for Kubrick and stuff like that, which I imagine was quite a thing.
Yeah.
The Salton Sea is a real place, apparently. It was used during the Manhattan Project to test bomb aerodynamics. No live bombs were tested. Do you have any more trivia for this?
I have quite a bit.
There's some interesting bits for this, I think.
because I found it quite interesting. Sarsgaard's character is based on a real drug user that Caruso claims to have known.
Yes.
But Sarsgaard himself visited anonymous group meetings and whatnot, and Kilmer kind of did the same thing. He was spending time with drug users.
Yeah.
I'm assuming not doing drugs. He was just observing.
Yeah.
But yeah, quite a few of the cast members seem to do that sort of thing as well. Doug Hutchinson actually spent a month with narcotics officers, accompanying on drug busts and stuff like that. So I found it all quite interesting on that. The research they put into the characters.
Yeah, they'd all done quite a bit of research, it seems, which was a nice little touch. And I've mentioned the cameo, I guess, of Ali Ermey in this. And now I could be wrong, but wasn't this one of Rosario Dawson's first roles?
Yeah, she's just seen...
like, laid on a couch in a drug den or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
I just remember thinking, is that Rosario Dawson? And I had to go to IMDb, and it was.
Yeah.
But I assumed I'd remember it from watching, and now I weren't sure which film it was, due to the other film's contents that we'll be discussing today.
Yeah, it was this one, because I want to say there's someone else as well in this film with a similar sort of thing, but I can't remember now, I'm probably wrong. Yeah.
I haven't wrote what the prank was, and I think I should have. But Val Kilmer pranked Anthony LaPaglia with a coffee.
Yeah.
He tipped it on him and made him laugh out of it, so he did the same back or something, I think it was.
Yeah, I couldn't really make sense of what the prank was exactly.
It sounds like Val Kilmer chucked hot coffee on someone and laughed about it, and he's like, I'm just hazing you, dude, and the other guy was like, kind enough to realise that was comedy.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is a regular American thing. That's a joke. I chucked coffee on you.
I think
it seemed a bit off to me.
I didn't really get it even when I read it, so I didn't really make note of it. The whole situation just seemed to confuse me, and I thought I wouldn't be happy if someone threw coffee on me, even if it was Val Kilmer.
Like last week, though, The Ghost and the Darkness linked 3 Batman films together. So does this.
Yeah.
Which I already mentioned in the cast, because Val Kilmer was Batman Forever, Doug Hutchinson is Batman and Robin, and Sarsgaard is the Batman.
Yeah.
So
Sarsgaard is the Batman.
No, the film is the Batman.
Oh, I thought you were telling me that.
Or otherwise, Doug Hutchinson is 2 people. He's Batman and Robin.
I believe that also.
I mean, he's not that good of an actor.
But Val Kilmer is Batman Forever.
If you're thinking Doug Hutchinson is good enough to be 2 people, you've mistaken him for Dirk Cool, the secret agent from Dennis the Menace.
That is a left field. I'm not even going to find that clip for you to put in.
Kilmer was having 3 hours a day for makeup for his tattoos in this film.
Yep. He has some nice tattoos. He has a flame on his shoulder.
I think Pete Sarsgaard has the best tattoo in this movie, though.
That's because it's Val Kilmer's face, and you're getting that same tattoo.
I'm really tempted, and that's not me joking, that's me being serious.
If you don't get that tattoo, I'll be upset.
I found this film to be just truly fantastic, and have a comedy edge that I did not expect from it. And I guess that comedy's needed, or it'd just be really bleak to watch.
I'm trying to think.
Because you're just watching Val Kilmer essentially just help these guys buy drugs to do nothing other than get more stoned and have a worse life. That's... So I guess it's nice that these characters have comedy.
Yeah, got to be a bit of an edge to them, I guess.
Yeah, it's such a delightful find, this film.
Yeah, like I said with a lot of these. This is one we first watched for this podcast, so it was kind of nice.
It's like, we're off to a great start.
Yeah.
And I don't think we actually watched a bad film while finding these Val Kilmer films.
No, we kind of watched all of them and said, we have to cover this, whether it's in Val Kilmer season or not.
So what we're trying to now do, I guess, is pepper in more Val Kilmer films throughout the year.
Yeah, I believe we mentioned that in the last episode.
Probably.
Episode before that.
I don't remember. Once we've recorded, that's it. My mind just drops everything.
And that's weird because you're editing these now.
Yeah, it's probably obvious.
I don't know.
Oh, BD Wong has a part in this
Yeah.
as well. Is he a cop as well? Or is he a dealer they go to? I think he's the dealer they go to get like a mass amount of whatever drug it was. Because so many people in this have appeared in just comic book films in general.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes me laugh when people do that.
And TV shows, I guess, as well.
Yeah, 'cause it makes me laugh when people do them things. It's like, oh, did you know this actor's also in this comic book movie? It's like, yeah, because they're actors and they need roles. It's nothing really truly special about being in more than one comic book movie. No. It's like saying...
Or it doesn't seem it now, anyway.
It's like saying, like, oh, Robert De Niro, he did a lot of crime movies, you know. He must be a real criminal.
What, you think these are real heroes?
Possibly.
Okay.
I believe it of Val Kilmer.
Like, we already mentioned Doug Hutchinson being in Warzone as Louis Bin Jim and in Batman and Robin as Gollum.
Yeah.
And Vincent D'Onofrio was Daredevil in Kingpin and he was Kingpin in Daredevil.
Pretty certain he was Daredevil in Kingpin.
But
the movie Kingpin.
The one I didn't know is that Anthony LaPaglia was the voice of Lex Luthor in All-Star Superman, which I believe we will be covering in about 7 weeks-ish.
Probably, yeah.
If or less than, depending.
If all goes well, yeah.
Because we're going to do some Superman animated features that we believe are based on the comics that are helping inspire the James Gunn Superman movie.
Yeah. And so far, probably the better Superman movies.
Yeah.
The animated ones. I prefer them anyway.
Yeah.
You'll find out which ones I prefer anyway.
But basically, if you haven't seen this film and you love them gritty noir, neo-noir crime dramas, or just the crime dramas of drug busts and that sort of stuff, I think this is a guarantee hit with you.
With me?
You, the audience.
Right.
You fool. You know, like, your Breaking Bad fans will probably get a good kick out of this.
Oh, for sure. I can see that. I never thought about that, but yeah.
And I know there's a lot of Breaking Bad fans out there.
No, there's just one.
Me?
No, Aaron Paul himself.
He's a fan of his own product.
Yeah,
what a loser. He had that one big hit that time and nobody hears the end of it. He's not out there saying how great Birds of Prey is for that one episode he's in. That's a deep dive.
It is.
He's also in a music video, but I can't remember what before. Like a really old music, like it's older than Birds of Prey. He's ridiculously young in that as well.
Oh wow!
This might not be older than Birds of Prey.
Turned into the Aaron Paul podcast.
If anyone should have a podcast, Aaron Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Won't surprise me if he does, but I'm not going to search it right now.
I swear all the roles he gets now are just because he was in Breaking Bad, so we might as well do a Breaking Bad podcast, right? Like a rewatch podcast.
No, I think he should do a Breaking Bad podcast in which he breaks bad.
Oh, he's like, I can't make it as an actor anymore. This is my life now.
Podcaster.
Yeah. But yeah, I really had a great time with this film, and that opening scene sets up a lot more than you realise. Like, you know it has to set up something, but at the time of opening, you don't realise just what it sets up.
Yeah.
But obviously it all comes back to that, I guess, because it's no spoiler to say that that hasn't happened yet at the time of the opening, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you want to move us on? Or is there more you want to say on this?
Just quickly run through a few things on this.
Go on then.
This seems like a bit of trivia you like.
Okay.
Bob's Market on Bellevue Avenue, it's featured in this. It's also in LA Confidential and The Fast and the Furious.
Oh, yeah.
So in my mind, they're all the same universe now.
Because they all use a real-life location?
Yes.
So I think that's how it works.
It's how some people do things now, isn't it? It's like, oh, that's the same thing from that. It must be the same thing, you know. Thomas Newman did the music on this. He's a great name to have on the film, I think. Did Green Mile, Road to Perdition, Shawshank Redemption, Lost Boys, Scent of a Woman. Yeah, got quite a few...
Scent of a Woman is the best film of all them you named.
I think you're right. Did I say American Beauty as well?
Oh, no, I'm not sure.
I'm still going Scent of a Woman. And cinematographer has a few that you kind of expect. It has Taking Lives in there.
I am number 4.
Nah, that's one that I kind of expect. I kind of think Pacific Heights, Coyote Ugly, they're kind of...
Okay. Coyote Ugly's a banger.
Lord of War.
Pacific Heights, is that the one where Keaton plays an absolute psycho?
Yep.
Oh, that's a great film.
He does Lord of War and Bad Boys 2.
Are you just reeling off your favourite films?
Yeah, Bad Boys 2, clearly one of my favourite. Man of Steel, he did Man of Steel. I find that quite an odd one out of all his films.
All right, interesting indeed. Great cinematographer then. Good range.
Yeah.
Man of Steel is really an outlier though, isn't it?
Yeah, I made note of Blue Steel as well. Just
Kurt Russell?
No, it's
Oh.
Jamie Lee Curtis. She's a cop.
I'm thinking Dark Blue, aren't I?
Yeah. Kurt Russell, Scott Speedman. Great movie.
Yeah, that is a great film.
Yeah.
Any more you want to say? Or
No.
shall I move us to Wonderland?
I think I'm moving us to Wonderland.
Oh.
You just introduced Salton Sea.
Okay. So from the Salton Sea to Wonderland.
Yeah, I'm going to move us along in a minute.
I'm just imagining that car ride.
Either way, it's got Val Kilmer in
2 Val Kilmers.
it.
One from each film.
Great. Wonderland from 2003.
Hi, everybody. I'm John Holmes.
Wait, who's John Holmes?
Holmes is one of the biggest stars in the X-rated film industry.
Director and writer on this was James Cox, but then there's also a couple other names on writing duty, which are Captain Morsner. And Todd Samovitz. This was on a budget of $5 million. And I'm quite surprised on the gross of this one, to be fair.
You're missing a writer.
Am I?
D. Lauriston Scott.
So I am. I don't know what they worked on though.
Bugger all.
That makes sense. Anyway, the budget for this was $5 million, and the gross was, like I said, I was quite surprised by this. I was going to see if you were going to guess, but you pulled me up on writing credits.
Sorry, I can still guess.
Do you want to guess?
Yeah, what was the budget?
$5 million.
And I need to guess its gross.
Yeah.
Did it do better than the Salton Sea?
Yes.
Oh, wow, okay. $11 million.
Oh no, it didn't do that well.
It did $6 million.
Didn't even do that well.
$3 million.
That's a lot closer.
It did $2.5 million.
That's near enough. It did $2,466,444. I just like the amount of fours in there.
Do I win anything for getting it close?
No.
Great stuff.
This stars, obviously, Val Kilmer. Not as obvious, but he plays John Holmes, because obviously different characters in different movies. Lisa Kudrow, Sharon Holmes, Kate Bosworth, Dawn Schiller, Dylan McDermott. Sorry, I'm just surprised to hear his name on here. Don't know why. I knew he was in it, but I just really like him as an actor. I don't feel we've seen enough of his work. Anyway, Dylan McDermott.
He did Hardware.
I know he did. That's a great film.
It is a great film.
That's what
I'd like to,
we
yeah.
should cover that. Anyway, he's David Lind in this. Josh Lucas, who I think's a scene stealer in this, as Ron Lanius. Ted Levine as Sam Nico, just for you. There's quite a few other cast members in this, but I don't really want to run through all of them. Synopsis from IMDb. In the police investigation of a brutal crime scene, one man was at the centre of it all. Legendary porn star John Holmes. And as I mentioned, that is Val Kilmer's character.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this.
Yeah.
But like I said, we've enjoyed every Val Kilmer movie we've watched, so it's pointless of me saying that at this point. But this was surprisingly good. I don't know what I was expecting from it.
Do you know what this reminded me of?
Go on.
You mentioned it for the last film.
Not Usual Suspects.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I can see that because of how the story kind of pieces together as well, doesn't it? Yeah.
That and the characters, they're all kind of larger than life.
Yeah, well, one's a porn star.
Don't think it says it in the synopsis. This is actually a real case that happened.
Yeah.
The Wonderland murders.
Yeah, Wonderland murders.
1981.
Yeah, call them the Wonderland murders.
Yeah.
The Four on the Floor.
Yeah.
The Laurel Canyon murders.
Yeah.
Or just the Wonderland murder case is my personal favourite. This was announced to go into production in 98, directed by Nick Vallelonga or something. I don't know. He's the writer on one of the writers anyway of Green Book.
Right, yeah.
And it was to star Michael Biehn in the lead and Tim Daly. Yeah. Anyway, we'll carry on with what do you want to say about the movie itself?
I'll just give you a quick bit of my thoughts then, I guess.
Don't want them.
Okay. I really liked how this opened. We got opening credits.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've been watching a few films lately, even recent ones, and there's opening credits. And I can't explain the delight that I get from seeing these opening credits return to film. So seeing a film from 2003 with opening credits was nice, I thought.
Yeah.
It does sadly have that 2000s editing style, very much of the time, with the split screens and jump cuts, saturated colours, that sort of stuff. It works here, though. It really helps to that frenzied, drug-fueled energy this has.
Yeah, I enjoy that stuff, though.
Val Kilmer brings a rather strange, subdued energy to John Holmes, playing him as both hollow and magnetic, I found, simultaneously. He's like a husk of a man that's barely there, while also being this amazing, captivating presence. I don't think anyone can do that.
No.
I also, due to being a comic book fan, I had a strange, surreal moment of this when Batman starts hooking up with Lois Lane. I was thinking, you don't want to do this. Don't upset Superman, especially if it's Henry Cavill's Superman. He'll probably break your neck. I just find it funny when stuff like that happens.
I thought you were going to say it's the fact that Josh Lucas and Tim Blake Nelson were in 2 different Hulk movies. But
Oh, no. I love how, again, this is a dark story that can lean into this absurdity due to John Holmes' character, I guess. It never undercuts the reality. It does very well at keeping that balance of this is real, but this is also incredibly strange. Let's have a laugh about it.
yeah.
There's a scene where Josh Lucas, I feel, does like a superhero dive over a coffee table.
Yeah.
I mean...
Fantastic.
Yeah, it feels like it's from a different movie.
Yeah.
If there's awards handed for superhero jumps, this would have got the one for 2003.
Yeah. I just realised this and Hulk are the same year.
Yeah, but yeah, this really does walk a fine line between true crime and stylised chaos. And also, you mentioned Dylan McDermott being in this.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
unrecognisable.
To you.
I did not recognise him. It is such an outlier in all the roles I've seen from him. You know, he looks like 90s action star thug,
Yeah, yeah.
right? He's got the goatee and the... Does he have... He has a ponytail, right? I'm not imagining that.
He has long hair, so he might tie
Yeah.
it back at some point.
He wears a beanie, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
completely different from how I've ever seen him.
Yeah.
And the soundtrack to this film is incredible. Every song is absolute brilliance. And it's well placed.
Yeah.
And it just really helps fill that era.
Yeah, in a good way. Not
Yeah.
like some films I feel now where they try and use music as nostalgic. There's a great song from like this. I feel actually finds songs from
Yeah.
around that time to actually play in the scene and work well in the scene. Like I said, some films now I feel like just play a classic song and just like it's great. And
Yeah.
Sometimes I guess it depends on what sort of movie you're going for, though, doesn't it? I don't know. I liked how it was done here.
Yeah, and I particularly like how this film brings like a grime and a paranoia and adds this weird sense of also glamour to the grime.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's very offbeat
Yeah.
and a lot different to what you would expect for a film that with this subject matter, I think.
Yeah, I think that links well to something I just want to mention now.
Sure.
Same as the last film. Lionsgate did not know how to market this film due to drug content.
It's understandable, though, isn't it?
So, yeah.
Watching both films, you can be like, how were these not smash hit successes?
Yeah.
And then at the same time, when you think about the marketing side, it's like, oh, how would they market this? There's like drug use or sex in every scene.
I wouldn't say every scene, but
In Wonderland, it's either sex-related or drugs-related, every scene.
yeah.
And if it isn't, it would be an obscure scene where it's like the police questioning thing, and it's like, how am I going to use this to market a movie without the lead character appearing?
yeah, and even then it was probably about drugs and violence.
Also, Lisa Kudrow, as a recognised comedy name in this film, is probably the most serious character in it.
Yeah.
Kudos to her for just doing that, being like the straight guy in this whole absurd shenanigans that are going on.
Yeah. It just made me wish Val Kilmer and her were doing a straight up comedy movie, though.
Yeah.
Seeing Val Kilmer do comedy is just amazing.
Yeah. We'll be discussing that, I guess, next week. Spoilers.
Yeah. I don't know. Kate Bosworth weren't too funny in this, bro.
Is she ever funny?
That's quite a sad story for her.
Yeah.
I don't know, is she ever funny?
I don't know.
I've got to look her up.
This also includes real crime scene photos
Yep.
from the murder scenes, which might seem a little distasteful.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because there's some strange things to accuracy with this, I think.
Yeah.
Val Kilmer's actually wearing the wedding ring, the real wedding ring.
Yeah.
The real life character of the real Sharon Holmes, if I'm right,
Yeah.
gave the real wedding ring to Val Kilmer to wear for this film.
Yeah.
Did you see who was going to be in this film?
Was it your favourite guy, Matt Dillon?
Yeah. Who I think should have played Batman.
No.
I still think he would make a great Batman.
Probably.
I know he's getting old, but...
But he chose to do... Well, he already wrote, and so he chose to direct and star in City of Ghosts.
Yeah. Did you know Val Kilmer was so interested in this film and immersed that he began a photography project? He was going to do a book,
Yeah.
but he opted not to release the book.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing somewhere in his estate there'll be that book, or the photos he was taking from set about this time, which would be quite interesting to find.
Yeah, I imagine it'd be a pretty good book to go through.
Did you see a promo item for this film at the Toronto Film Festival was a 13.5-inch ruler
Yeah.
as a reference to Holmes's infamy?
Yeah.
You could also say a reference to Holmes's manhood. And there's a few lines about the length of it in the film.
There's definitely a few lines about it in the film.
Yeah. And when it comes to length, Val Kilmer was allowed to grow his hair during the filming of Mindhunters to match his look for this film.
Yeah.
Mindhunters is probably a film worth checking out. I can't remember the director. Stars LL Cool James.
I want to say the director, Rennie Harlan.
It wouldn't surprise me. It's probably why I don't remember. The less I know about that man, the better my life will be. I also found that Val Kilmer wore a prosthetic for the role due to Holmes's infamous anatomy, but I don't ever remember seeing it.
That's what I thought.
So was it just supposed to be down his trousers and you can see it swinging in parts? Because it's not exactly something I'm looking for.
No, I think there's scenes, obviously, where it zooms in on his crotch area, so I think that it's just for those moments.
I also know there's deleted scenes to this.
Yeah, there's quite a few.
Because some of the deleted scenes actually have actual news footage from the event as well, if I'm right.
Yeah, I thought you were going to... They cut scenes of him actually hitting Kate Bosworth's character.
Oh, yeah, that was something, yeah.
Because then it'll just cut and it's already happened in the film, and you kind of think, like, that's a bit weird. I think we questioned it when watching it, and then when I was reading that, I was like, of course, deleted scenes.
Makes it a little more palatable, I guess.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, Susan, I hope I'm saying her surname correctly, Susan Launius is the sole survivor of the murders.
Yeah.
The actual police investigation footage is included in the DVD's special features.
Yeah.
Scott Thorson was present at Nash's house when Holmes was beaten. This fact was omitted from the film. His testimony eventually led to Nash's indictment. Contrary to the film, John Holmes did not visit Eddie Nash's house after the robbery. He was kidnapped off the street while wearing some of the stolen jewellery. Barbara is last seen in the film lying on the couch. That's the location she was actually found dead. One deleted scene shows John beating Dawn after she slept with Nash at his request, which reflects Dawn Schiller's real-life accounts of abuse and coercion into prostitution. Another deleted scene explains why Dawn introduces herself as Gabrielle. Holmes had lied to Nash, calling her his niece. So there you go. That's some of the fact stuff relating to real life. But it sounds like this film was oddly quite accurate to the real events.
Yeah.
From what I've seen and read.
Yeah.
Just absurdity. It's one of the most strange cases in Hollywood, I think. That I hadn't actually heard of until watching this film.
No.
Because everyone knows the Sharon Tate stuff.
Yeah.
With Charles Manson, but this isn't all that different.
No. Well, I guess I'll just say cinematographer all this, I guess.
Yeah, go on then.
Michael Grady.
Yeah.
I did the movie Bug, which I only watched last year.
Oh yeah, great film.
Yeah, Michael Shannon.
Yeah, William Friedkin directs.
Yeah, Factory Girl, which
one of the writers has done Factory Girl.
Yeah, Captain Mosner. Captain Mosner. What a name, Captain. Yeah, they did a few things like that. Notorious, Easy A. Oh, they did the morning show. I like that. Some episodes of that. And the person that did the music on this was Cliff Martinez. They did the movie Drive, Ryan Gosling. Yeah. Neon Demon.
Great stuff also. Yeah. Same director as Drive.
Neon Demon.
Yeah.
Won't surprise me.
And they do Only God Forgives, I think, as well.
Probably. They also did Hotel Artemis that we watched the other year. And, the movie Kimmy, which was...
It was before the Batman.
Yeah, actually before the Batman. Time has gone by so quick. That to me is like...
But Kimmy's a great film.
Yeah.
Very, I guess, modern version of Hitchcock. It's like a cyber Rear Window.
Yeah.
Starring Zoe Kravitz.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I had a lot of fun with that. I wouldn't mind revisiting it.
Yeah.
In the film, though, just to go back to the film, I guess, because I've got nothing else to say on production side. Eddie Nash refers to the Starwood nightclub.
Yeah.
It's a real venue that Eddie Nash actually co-owned, and it launched the careers of bands like Motley Crue, Van Halen, the Go-Go's, and I don't know X or the Germs.
I know X.
And apparently Paris Hilton appears as Barbie, one of the women sunbathing on Nash's yacht.
Okay, hey, you're on the yacht.
Didn't spot her.
Yeah, you did. You pointed her out. You said that's Paris Hilton.
Oh, I don't remember seeing her.
Okay, you pointed her out.
I pointed her out on the yacht.
We were watching it. She's in frame, actually next to the character on screen.
Then I've forgotten she was in it and learnt it again and don't remember seeing her.
Yeah, pretty much.
But that's all I have for this. Have you actually shared what you think of this film properly?
Yeah.
Okay.
This film was shot in 18 days. I don't know if you said that.
Oh, no, I didn't. I don't even think I'd seen that.
Yeah. It was with another bit of trivia, but I only found the 18 days fascinating.
Yeah.
Because for 18 days shoot, I thought it's not bad.
I never said it for the Salton Sea, but I had a quote from Kilmer. He described his character as obsessed and broken like Hamlet. He went on to emphasise the complexity of the role portraying a man torn between his past and present.
Nice.
I was wanting to find a quote. I should have done it for the last two episodes as well, but I only decided on this one to try and find a quote where he talks to the film. And I couldn't find anything for this. I could find that James Cox had discussed the challenges of portraying the real-life figure John Holmes. Kilmer's performance was noted for capturing the chaotic and morally ambiguous nature of Holmes's life, reflecting Kilmer's ability to delve into complex characters. So I could only find a quote or a reference to Kilmer's portrayal from the director. Which was a shame because I wanted something from Kilmer. So hopefully I can find quotes from Kilmer about the next two films.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
Because I wish I'd have done it for the last four we covered.
Yeah.
Just because Val Kilmer does mean a lot to me as a film fan and as a Batman fan.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, I think that's everything.
Okay. I'll do that thing where we put a bow on it.
Okay.
So that's the end of week 3 of our Val Kilmer Spotlight. Join us again next week for our 4th and final week of shining the spotlight on Val Kilmer. as we zip all the way back to the 80s for his quirkier roles and his acting feature debut, as we will be discussing 1984's Top Secret and 1985's Real Genius. And thank you for joining us this week, and if you haven't already, click like and subscribe. A glowing review would also be appreciated. We are Cynic_critique on X and Instagram, and Cynic-critique on Blue Sky. Links to those and more can be found in the show's description. Thank you and goodbye.
Bye.
Would you be prepared if gravity reversed itself?